Hello and welcome to one and all. I am Junior TV anchor Shaunak Kanavia and you are watching KidzByte TV, India's first news and knowledge channel for kids and by kids. Today we have a very special guest with us, Miss Swaha Sahoo. She leads the Parag Initiative at Tata Trusts. They are working on creating access to good quality children's books by setting up libraries and training educators. Thank you for joining us today, Miss Sahu. Hope you are having a lovely day.
Hi, Shaunak. I am really excited to be here on KidzByte TV, and it's quite amazing the work that you are doing, and I'm really looking forward to this session with you.
Thank you. Miss Sahu, I have a few questions for you. So let's start from the beginning. They say books are our best friends. Were you fond of reading as a kid?
Always, always. I think my entire life has been defined by what I have read, right, since the time that I was in school. I hail from a small town called Cuttack in Odisha. And I actually read everything and anything that I could lay my hands on when I was a kid. So yes, I have always been fond of reading.
That's quite interesting. Even I love reading books. We have one more thing in common, as I've heard. Our background is journalism, as you can see.
Aha, that's right.
Can you tell us why you selected journalism in your initial career days?
Yeah, well, I always loved writing, and I used to write for myself most of the time. I used to write poems and stories and, things that I could relate to. And I had my own little diary. So I remember when we were in, I think, early college, 1999, Odisha was hit by a very, very bad super cyclone. And a lot of damage happened. And I remember after many days when I went out and I could see trees uprooted and, poles down and big gaps on the roads, it really disturbed me. And I remember writing about this and sending it out to a few newspapers, magazines, and that work got published. And that was the first time I saw my byline, my name on an article. And it really it felt very meaningful to me that that I had managed to somehow reach a lot of people and share my thoughts. I think that was probably the first time that I thought that just beyond writing for myself, it could become like a career or a profession for me. And yeah, that's how I chose to get into journalism.
Wow. So then how did Parag Initiative happen? Do tell us about the connection with Tata Trust and what the Parag Initiative is all about.
Yeah. So after being, in journalism for I would say 7 years, because I was an education reporter, I used to report on education policy, on what was happening in and around education, whether it was school or it was colleges or universities. I myself developed a very, very deep interest in education. And I think after a point, I realized that I just didn't want to be on the outside reporting about what was happening, but I wanted to get my hands dirty, right? Like I wanted to be the change and not just report about the change. So, yeah, I think I just quit journalism. I went and I did a master's in education because I thought I needed to understand a little bit more about education policy, about the history before I went into the field of development. And my very first job interview after I finished my master's was with the Tata Trusts. And I remember applying for that position and thinking to myself that I'm really not suitable for this job opening, but it'll be a good interview practice for me. I should go and apply for it. But my current boss, Amrita, was the one who interviewed me then also. And I think she could see that my love for books coming out during our conversation. And although I did not get the particular job that I had applied for, she came back to me with this work of Parag that was happening within the trusts. And I felt an instant connect to it because it was books and reading, and I've always been passionate about it. So I think it worked, and this was almost 10 years back. And, work and pleasure are very, very almost like in the same basket for me now. So that's how Parag happened. Now, to your second question about what it does, I think, like you would understand, Shaunak, since you said you love reading. Reading really gives us wings, right? I mean, even if we are sitting in one place, we are like so in so many different places with so many different people. We are with characters that we probably will never meet in our real lives, and in situations that will probably never occur to us or will happen in our lives, but they're still happening to us because we are inside of a book. So I think every child and adult needs to experience that power of a story, and how lovely it is to be in different places while not moving an inch from your own house or home. But a lot of government school children that we work with don't have access to good quality storybooks. And it's very sad but true that a majority of school libraries don't give that kind of an access. And within the Parag Initiative, we are really trying hard to see how children can get hold of really good children's literature, exciting books to read, how teachers and librarians and parents, all of us can join hands to ensure that children experience the magic of stories.
That's such a wonderful initiative. I feel book reading as a habit is declining among children of my generation. Can you share with us some tips to enjoy reading again?
Okay, so I wouldn't agree entirely with that statement. I do think that it could be true. I have not really seen statistics which very firmly make me believe that reading is declining. But yes, I think with a small percentage of children who have access to a lot of technology or devices and alternate mediums of entertainment, enjoyment, probably they have so many choices that books then become one of the choices for them. And time is divided across so many different things that you're doing, and also because you have so many different and interesting mediums. But for a lot of children in India, they don't have access to either books, or to TV, or to internet, to mobile, to gaming. Um, and and we have seen in our libraries that the moment they get access to books, they really, really enjoy it, and then they take to it, and they sit down and read. But coming to tips, I always say this to parents or adults that we are working with, when they say that our child doesn't read, that parents should read. And that's the only way to get children to read, because children really learn from what they see. And for children to read, I would say there are so many different kinds of books that probably if you read one or two book, you may not find that one interesting one that really hooks you. So keep reading. It is something that will happen over a course of time. And now in India, we are very fortunate to have such a wide variety of literature, whether it is fiction, non-fiction, whether it's poetry, whether it's adventure. We have so many different genres that you will find a large selection. But the idea is to keep trying. If you don't find a book interesting, probably stay with it a little bit more, instead of just saying that ye boring hai or ye nahi chalta hai, and then probably stick to at least finish half to see whether you're still interested or not. But if you're not, then that does not mean that there is no other book in this world that will interest you, because there are a million authors and a million books for so many people. Yeah.
Those are some really nice tips. Even my mom reads along with me.
You are lucky.
It will definitely help me. You also have the Parag honor list as a part of the initiative. Could you tell us something about it and what it aims to achieve?
Yeah. So, every as parents, as teachers, or as librarians, and also as as kids and young adults who like to read, we are always looking for good books, or we are looking for books that will interest us, a wide variety from different authors. For younger children, picture books that have really good stories and illustrations. And a lot of times we are not able to find information on good books. So the Parag Honor List is really a medium that helps you pick curated good books. So every year, whatever has been the number of books that comes out over the year, we curate that list. We send the books to an external jury to read and to, look at the best ones that have come out across the year. And then we release that list. So the list is both, a collection of books in Hindi. So there's PHL Hindi, and there is the Parag Honor List English. So we are right now doing it in these two languages. And the list is, available on our website and social media, for schools and for teachers and parents to refer to, when you're making choices about buying books.
So, where can we purchase the award winning books from? Are they available online?
So Parag Honor List books, a majority of them are available on online social media, online platforms, e-book platforms. And many of the publishers whose books are featured in the Parag Honor List also have their own e-stores, and they are mostly very, very prompt in, servicing requests. So you can buy them either through portals like Amazon, or you could, buy them through individual publisher websites.
Okay.
So I just want to add before we go on to the next one that Amazon also has the entire list of Parag Honor List books. So you can buy the whole list also from there, like the whole pack.
Wow, that's nice. I think we would all love to read books in our own mother tongue. Do you see enough writers and publishers giving out books in regional languages?
Yeah, so that's a very important question, Shaunak, because it's so important to be, for me, I can't really not talk to my daughter or my family in Odia because that's my mother tongue. And I love conversing in that language, and it's like, my comfort language. And and my daughter loves listening to stories in Odia, because that's how she's really grown up, listening to stories. And I think a lot of children are like that. And multilingualism really comes late in life, but the first 6 years, children really need to be in and around their mother tongue, and even beyond that. So yes, it is so important, but the answer to your question is unfortunately no. We don't have too many publishers now in the last 15 to 20 years who have been writing original or publishing original and interesting stories for children, especially in the picture book category. Because, I think there was a time in the 80s, 70s, and the 80s when a lot of literature was being written, generally in the languages, and some of it was, and is still available for young adults or for, let's say, 14 and above age group. But the younger age group really needs new formats, more relevant storylines that they can relate to in today's world and times. And that is not happening as much.
Uh, Besides reading, there are children who would be interested in writing books too, like me. Any tips for us?
Wow. I think the most important tip to becoming a good writer is to be a good reader. Actually, is to be a voracious reader. So the more you read, I think the better you will get at writing. So because, writing requires you to be really creative, to be imaginative, to think, to think of different fantastical, bizarre ideas, to be able to create characters and settings that your readers can relate to. And the more you read, the stronger you become around all these things, how to weave a plot around a story, how to really start and end, how to keep the suspense going. I would say that reading would be number one. And the second, again, it's a cliched thing, but the second would be to just sit down and write. like write, and then the more you write, the better you become at it. All writers I have spoken to, all authors would say the same thing, that they require a lot of discipline, because many a times they just don't feel like writing, but they force themselves to at least write 2 pages today, and then 3 pages tomorrow, and 4 pages the day after, because they set aside a lot of time where they definitely sit and write and not do anything else. So this is of course for professional writers and authors who shared these tips with me. So perhaps the same applies to junior writers also.
Those are some good tips. Thanks, Ms. Sahu, for giving such candid responses. Now it's time for a rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yes.
Hope you're not nervous. The first book you ever read?
Are you serious? I have no idea. I definitely don't remember that one.
Okay. Reading an actual book or using an e-reader? You would choose?
Actual book any day.
Okay. Your favorite quote from any book?
This is from this book by Paulo Coelho, that if you believe in something, then the whole world conspires to make it happen. I think it's The Alchemist. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Fiction or non-fiction? Choose.
At this point in my life, non-fiction.
Your favorite song?
Pehla Nasha.
Can you sing a few lines for us?
Really? पहला नशा पहला खुमार, नया प्यार है नया इंतजार, कर लूं मैं क्या अपना हाल, ए दिले बेकरार, मेरे दिले बेकरार, तू ही बता.
You're such a natural singer.
That's flattery, but thank you.
And after this beautiful song, finally a couple of tongue twisters. You have to repeat these 5 times. Are you ready? First, purple paper people.
Purple paper people. Purple paper people. Purple paper people. Purple paper people. Purple paper people. I think
Wow. Wow. Second one, it's a bit more tough. Upper roller, lower roller.
upper roller, lower roller.
Yes.
Upper roller, lower roller. Upper roller, lower roller.
Faster.
Okay. Do I continue?
Yes.
Okay. Upper roller, lower roller. Upper roller, lower roller. I think that's 5. No?
Yes. That was wonderful, Miss Sahu. It was lovely meeting you. I hope you enjoyed our little interaction today.
Yes, Shaunak, thank you so much. I really had a great time, and I think this has been like such a lovely, wonderful interview in a very, very long time. So please continue, doing such amazing work. Good luck with your reading and especially with your writing.
Thank you, ma'am. You are always welcome on KidzByte.
Thank you so much.
So, friends, I hope you all have learned something useful from Miss Sahu. I definitely have. So, grab a book before you hit the bed today. Remember, books do not snore. Thanks for watching Kids by TV. We will see you soon.